Hi, my name's Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is the third session of narrative dynamics game called Goblinville, which is a game about a group of goblins, not really World of Warcraft style goblins, a little more like hobbits meets kobolds to a degree. They live in a place called Goblinville, and they, in order to help this town thrive, their hometowns thrive, they go out on little adventures and try to come back. And the coming back is the important part because that is how we will be beginning our session. So let's go around the horn. After I do our safety talk real quick at the top here, we'll go around the horn, have everybody introduce themselves and their characters. But first, we have lines and veils within this game for our safety tools. Primary. Lines, this is fiction we do not want in our game. Sexual assault, sexual violence, or coercion. Cannibalism, seen as a positive. Death or endangerment of children. Animal abuse, torture by the PCs, and peril to pregnant women or infants. Those are things that that doesn't exist in our world. If it exists, we don't talk about it. It's not going to be fiction that interests us. Veil, these are things that if this content comes up, we're going to quickly cut away or fade to black. Eyeball trauma, domestic violence, consensual sex, fade to black. Disease, I'm totally good with a veil at our current moment on disease. Then we have a few that are ask first, meaning if you're about to introduce this content, just check in with the group real quick. The first one is drug abuse. The note of there's a difference between drug use and drug abuse. So we've already had drug use and that's cool, but drug abuse, let's just check in. Betrayal, that's another ask first. Suicide, torture, and violent conflict between player characters. Those are all ask first options. And then we have a few that we're interested in. This is content that we'd like to highlight, and that is romance between characters, whether they're PC or NPC. And there's a little bit of interest in some gore, not over much, but just like a little bit of gore. Just a little gore. So that's all of the things that we've marked. On top of that, we have the X card, which will put us a quick stop or a pause to the game. And then we discuss what content has been X carded, not to challenge it in any way, just to understand it. Then we excise that from our play and we continue on. Sabine.
I've got a question about the gore.
Yes.
Are bodily fluid jokes included in this? Because I'm not too hot about those. Or is this just blood and viscera flying around? I'm fine with that.
I certainly never think of...
I don't know who marked gore, so... Okay, cool. So, Jan?
No, not specifically bodily fluids, no.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so we will avoid overmuch on bodily fluids, but a little bit of gore because you guys are little goblins and they're big monsters.
And I don't count blood. For some reason, I don't count blood as a bodily fluid. Just yeah.
It's a renewable resource in action movies, so, it's no big deal. NBD. Sweet. Thank you for asking the clarifying question, Sabine. All right. Those are safety tools. Now I get to be quiet for a few minutes. I know everyone's thankful. Jen, kick us off. Introduce yourself. Tell us about your goblin. I'm going to step away and close my door because my son thinks that talking at 110 decibels is A-okay.
It's okay.
Yep. Good way to be. Hi, my name's Jen. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Scree. Scree is a long-tooth miner, so she's got some experience. She has a straightforward outlook. She's craggy, practical, bit of a wheeler dealer. Kind of a shadow boss. She is certainly the person who the current mind boss asks for advice, although she's not the current mind boss. Last session, she had some fun with a baby owlbear. And by fun, I mean extreme peril.
That's kind of fun. We're being a little vague about what happened last session because Sabine wasn't here, and the plan is that in our opening scene, Tim will be rejoining the goblins as they near Goblinville, and everyone gets to in character update Sabine's character on what happened. So, Jan, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Jan. I use the he, him pronouns. I will be playing Spiff, who uses the they, them pronouns. They are a sapper of roughneck age. Wear a hood because that's important. And has gained the titles of Stump Shaker, Trap Master, and Skin Saver. And they are crass, reluctant, and a lucky bastard.
Indeed. Tyler, please introduce us to yourself and your character.
I'm Tyler. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing Skarsnik, who is a Sawbones. He is a roughneck, so relatively young. He is kind of, as Sawbones is kind of a doctor, but he was not well trained as his teacher, the doctor before him, died of old age. He's a bit of a busybody. He's a inappropriately cheerful at some times. He has a very dark sense of humor, and he wears his fancy doctor's hat, so everyone knows he's a doctor, and wields his surgical club.
Alex, introduce yourself. Tell us about your character, please.
Hi, I'm Alex, use he, him. I'll be playing Gorp, the Warg Keeper. He raises wargs for the Goblinville. He's pretty grumpy, I think, from his being thrown in the deep end of warg keeping. And I think he says he hates the wargs, but I feel it's he's allowed to hate the wargs. If other people, did it, he may have objections. I think there's an interesting relationship. And his titles that he's got are Toothbreaker, Hands First, and Windrider. And his traits are surly, scrawny, and dangerously stubborn. Because I think most people would have quit warg keeping when their boss was eaten on day 3.
I mean, seems kind of wise.
I never said his traits were wise.
Sabine, if you could, please introduce us to yourself and your character.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. I'm going to play Tim, who uses he, him pronouns. Tim's a cook. Tim came to Goblinville from the elf town. So he's a new goblin in town. Tim is usually timid and friendly. He also is known as Sane Tim. I don't remember why that was, but I worry about unsane Tim. But who knows? He's also known as the Human Whisperer because in his time in the town, he had lots of experience with humans. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, and Tim went off when the group encountered some stuff, and then he saw something that looked like a carrot, and he just mostly went to find carrots, right? So he traipsed off by himself just to go and find some carrots, and apparently he did at least one.
Did. So at the end of every session in Goblinville, the players in character will talk and recount the experience that most shaped them during the outing. So we will begin with Tim catching up to the group. We have Greypelt or Greyback, the older warg who's nice, pulling a sled filled with lots of wood, and a number of the scout patrol goblins, as well as Gorp, Skarsnik, and Spiff and Scree, a number of them have like ropes lashed around thatch and wood and small pieces of logs and branches and the like, carrying it on their backs to get as much wood home as possible. And so, Tim, if you could recount for us what happened when you disappeared, and once you're done, you can embellish. You can tell a different side of things than we saw, and we saw nothing. So the sky's the limit. And then after the group listens, they will come up with a 1 to 4 word title to reflect your experience.
Okay, so I think what happened was that Tim got a bit lost, found then actually, while looking for the way back, he actually stumbled across some carrots, but there were also a family of mice who were also pretty interested in, no, it's mice. It's nice. It's something nice. So they are a raccoon. I love raccoons. So, he came across a raccoon who was also interested in those carrots, and then the two of them tried to figure out whose carrots they were now, and that the rest Tim will tell you himself about the raccoon and the carrots. But he got one at least. It was not that very epic.
Well, it's not terribly epic.
No, Tim is not a terribly epic guy.
So, goblins, what kind of title do you give Tim for his exploits with
Low-key lucky.
Everybody good with that one?
Sure.
That seems good.
All right. Rock on. Low-key lucky for Tim. So yeah, Tim catches up, regales all of you with a tale of carrots. Perhaps he shows off the carrot along with his mushroom. You notice, Tim, that Scree has this like messenger baggy type leather pouch with a very large egg in it. And I think we'd said that it was like had weird colors striation to it, like it wasn't a boring yellow egg. I thought we made an Easter egg joke that it had colors to it. I don't know if I'm just misremembering, but
I don't remember that, but it's
okay.
totally possible that we did that. So yeah, it's not, I wouldn't call it stripy, but there's definitely layers.
Nice. And you see several of the goblins who left for the patrol, Tim. They're happy to see you, well, maybe less so from Slack the Second, because he's just an irascible person who just never gets super happy at other people's fortune, and fortune is surviving, so there's that. Tim, how is it that you ask for like what happened while I was gone?
Well, I wander out of the forest, and there was a large group coming, so I just watched. So I know that these are my guys, I guess. And so I stepped out and said, "Hello, hi, I found carrots. One carrot. You have found these guys. That's good. What happened?"
Whew.
Bears.
Tim, you missed a
Apparently-
lot.
Apparently, the birds were owls. The bears were still bears.
Okay. Birds were owls, the bears were bears. Okay.
Kind of
Good.
like a bird.
Kind of like a. Oh, so the bird bear was an owl bear.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very big.
I knew a tavern that was called the Owl Bear in the city. I heard they were very dangerous. Owl
Was the
bears.
tavern dangerous?
It was a human tavern. Of course it was dangerous.
Hmm.
They threw food around.
I
But
was going to ask
sometime-
if the tavern mauled you.
No, the tavern didn't maul me. Sometimes they threw food out of the window.
What a
What
waste.
a waste of food.
Yeah, well, but you could gather it up, then you could have something nice. actually.
Free food.
I'm always a fan of street food.
Yeah, street food. Yes, that's what we called it.
Yeah.
Food found in the street.
So Tim, we had all of these scouts.
Hmm?
We met back up. They were in the Ravine Elf village.
Oh, the poor dears.
They were basically okay. The
Okay.
Ravine elves were feeding them and not beating them. And
They wanted to eat them, right?
Ravine
No.
elves think we're sneaky.
yeah,
Yeah.
By
They
the
were
way,
really fixated on that.
Okay.
this is Astra. She's very nice.
Oh yeah, we got an elf.
Astra's a good hunter, and
Thank
she's
you.
not that tall. She's like maybe a couple inches taller than we are.
She's like the shortest of anyone her age in her little ravine.
And the Ravine elves are already
Side
short.
note: have we decided how tall goblins are?
They're probably as tall as me. Let's be real.
So they're real short.
They're real short.
Just
Yeah,
for context.
Tim is even short for a goblin, I think. So he
Yeah.
looks up, and then he looks up a little more because she might be taller on the inside.
Spiff looks pretty tall.
Yes, it's true.
TBH. I bet Spiff's like 5'6", 5'8".
Really? Are really that tall?
Really? Wow, that's wild. Is that true, Spiff?
No.
You just carry yourself like you're that tall.
He
Yeah.
just has the limbs. He just looks very.
Yeah, it's that.
Also tall
they
on the
are
inside.
kind of tall on the inside.
I mean,
Astra says, "It's nice to meet you, Tim."
I hide behind Spiff when she starts to talk to me. Whoosh.
She,
Game fitness, yeah.
Did she talk to me?
She said the word Tim, or
How did she know my name?
because we were talking and we said your name.
Yes.
Oh,
She's a
okay.
good
it's a
listener.
high Tim.
she's very bright
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
and awfully pretty. I mean, yeah, very bright.
Skarsnik is not very bright.
It's okay, Tim. I understand. I don't normally get along with a lot of my people either. So,
They keep calling you sneaky.
well, yes.
Is it because they think you're a goblin?
No, they don't think I'm a goblin.
She doesn't
I
have
mean,
the
to
nose
be fair,
of a
she
goblin.
didn't really see her much when we were doing all the dangerous stuff. So
I feel it's more the ears. Wrong ears.
wrong kind of pointy.
Yeah.
She's,
Yeah.
They don't droop enough.
I think the nose
Yes,
is
it's
very
up
small.
is wrong. Out. You point out.
she's going to come visit Goblinville. She's very interested in seeing our town, aren't you, Astra?
I am. We live in little burrows, and you have a town like humans do. That's very interesting.
Is it that?
Elves have
Tim, is it
towns
like?
too.
Is this town like a human town?
I don't know. I lived in an elf town, I guess.
Yes.
With
Same,
humans
right?
there. And our Goblinville is far prettier and has a
I
lot
mean,
better people. People
Are
there
elves
are
that different
nicer.
from humans? They're tall.
Yeah, our houses are shorter.
I bet the elves didn't even have a work then.
Probably not.
We did
Or
not
am I?
have no. I'm really looking forward to seeing more wargs. I really like her. And she kind of indicates over towards Greyback.
There were no wargs in Elf Town.
Sounds like-
Greyback is probably the nicest one, right?
Hmm.
Sounds like the town elves aren't nearly as nice as the Ravine elves, and most of them aren't that great. But Astra's not like them. That's why she's coming with us.
Okay. Hi, Astra.
Hello.
I'm still hiding behind Spiff, just to be, better safe than sorry.
Tim, the shit.
Tim, show us your carrot.
Oh, The carrot, okay.
Oh, not that carrot.
Not that. I don't have another carrot. Just have this carrot.
I just have this one. I just need to see how big this carrot is that you.
Oh, it's a big carrot. It's a really big carrot. And Tim, still a little cautious of the elf, keeping away a little, pulls out this carrot. It's not enormous, but it's a good-sized carrot. And
It's a respectable carrot.
It's a respectable carrot, yes. Yeah, and I know where more carrots grow, but I had to. I mean, I was fighting this raccoon for them. It was very scary.
They bite.
Yes, that didn't bite me, but it could have. It could have, and we were unclear about whose carrots they were. But I got this one. I got this one.
Good work. Having previously thought that Tim would never win a fight with a raccoon.
Marking it down. Up ahead, you see I don't know, do you imagine that your town has a wall? Or does it just have kind of a space, a clearing between the trees and where
I think a wall is a thing we need to build, right?
I think maybe there's a wall option. Let me check real quick.
Maybe we have
Parapets
started.
is a thing that we'd have to build.
There's a watchtower that you need.
Right.
So yeah, we'll say that up ahead you're able to see what are the things we have in Goblinville. We have a sawmill.
Oh, we're going to have a sawmill. I think.
Right, we're about to for 10 scratch. Ooh, are we? Are we going to
No
spend?
wood source.
You do have wood source. You 100% have wood source.
Does it need 10 scratch as well? I don't know.
It says requirement wood source. Build one of those structures. Oh, requisite to barracks pair. Oh, gotcha. Sorry, I was reading the build one of those structures for 10 scratch, thinking that's what you need for the sawmill. So you guys bringing the wood source back means you'll be able to set up a sawmill. That's awesome. You have a tavern with a cook who is arriving back here, which means they've probably not eaten the best food over the last week or so. You have mines. There's like if I remember, there were some foothills and possibly a mountain. The Sawbones has an office of some kind. There are the war dens. I imagine those are on the outskirts of town. Does that feel right to you, Gorp?
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. I mean, sometimes I have to, they have to stretch their legs, and best not to have to go through the,
Cool. So just so we have like the houses, Goblinville has actual pictures of what the domiciles might look like. I don't know why they're like 2-level and 3-level affairs, but that's quaint and interesting to me. So yeah. You guys have the sawmill. So we'll say a sawmill should be, well, no, I guess the sawmill doesn't have to be near water. It could just operate independently. Yeah. So
we've got plenty of goblins.
Yeah, you got plenty of goblins.
That's
so
a lot of manpower.
It's true.
You have so you have the sawmill. You guys got a bunch of wood to keep it running. And the tavern is, if I remember correctly, that's where you were approached by Slacked, the boss goblin who gave you the job to go find those folks. So the town, as you guys are entering the town, the first thing that happens is the GM makes a grim favor roll to determine the town events. I'm going to be using our roll dice with friends if it's happy. It was having some system issues earlier, but hopefully it will cooperate with us today. All right. Well, I should click the share button, Rich. There we go. GM makes a grim favor roll to determine town events. There are no active crises. There are no active crises right now. I roll 2d6 and take the highest. So I'll just stick to 6-siders and roll. A 2 and a 3. The highest is a 3, a precarious situation. Boop. So you guys come back to a precarious situation. luckily, it is not a catastrophe. And I'm going to crisis. So yeah, I'm going to say that there's a precarious situation, which is there is a particular monster crisis. You guys come in and you notice that a number of the smaller thatched huts that goblins live in. So this is not one of the this is not the sawmill or the sawbones clinic, or it's not the tavern. It is north and away from where the warg den is. The number of the thatched huts are either one is, the roof is completely gone. One is nothing but tatters. Looks like it was broken into hundreds of sticks, and yeah, it looks like something like a baby cyclone kind of just touched in on the north side and took out a number of those particular huts. And Skarsnik, who have you treated that you know lives or lived in one of those huts there on the north side of Goblinville? And remember, the goblin names, if you need to grab one, start on row 46 of the town tab.
All right. I think that I treated there, let's see, on the outskirts, probably someone who goes out and forages for the town, how they earn their money. So it's we're going to call them Gloop. And Gloop I treated for the problems of many scratches, generally speaking, in which I would make clay plasters for them to put on their wounds. These weren't amputation level wounds.
Cool.
An L in there, Tim, not quite the goop.
Yeah, it's not the Gwyneth Paltrow thing. That's a
Whole
good question.
different eggs than our bugbear one.
Cool. So I've done the Grim Favor roll. You guys noticed that bit of mess. Then
He said it was on the edge of town.
it was.
Or is it the edge of town that the warg dens are?
Oh,
Or
it was
on a different
opposite.
side?
So we'll say that
Okay, good.
that you guys were south and this was on the north.
Alright.
Good question though.
Yeah.
I may stick a note in there that it's on the south side for the work dens. Did something happen? Astra asks you, Skarsnik, to those houses?
And it looks like it's been torn to pieces. What?
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't know any better, it would look like a pack of wargs just ran through and knocked over a bunch of the huts.
I'm not sure, and I think I'm gonna, move over there and globe.
And then Gloop will stick his head out of the barely, like, no roof little thatched hut. He looks and his ears are kind of folded back, which is the goblin sign for being nervous or scared. You know that from being around Tim. He says, hey, Skarsnik. Well, welcome back. Did you find the scouts?
Yeah. Are you all right? Your house seems to have fallen on you.
No, my house is worse off than me, but yeah.
What happened?
In the night, there was an animal that came through, a big one. And well, we didn't have the wargs, so everybody just hunkered down, shelter in place.
And it didn't go so well for you.
He looks up and he can see the sky instead of his roof. No, not so good. You brought wood.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully we can get your house fixed. But you're okay.
I'm okay.
Anybody get hurt?
Yeah, a few people got hurt.
Hmm.
They're dead. He reaches out, kind of nervously points over towards the ruined hut. Yeah, the Streisleys, they disappeared.
Did they get to the
Anybody?
Wog Den? Did they get to the Wog Den?
Wish you'd been there, Gorb. Maybe you could have let the wargs out.
Well, if someone were to take an apprenticeship, then there'll be somebody else to take our Wogger out.
I'm a forager. What can I say?
Then don't complain.
Is this a flying monster that did that?
Oh no, it just came running in all fours. It was really big, knocked down a few huts and ate everything that was in their house. And I don't know if he got them or what.
But you don't know what kind of big animal.
No.
Human or something?
Sounds like a regular bear.
Didn't make bear noises, but maybe
What kind of noises did it make?
grunty noises, like kind of piggish.
Maybe
So
it was
pig.
a hawk.
Too big for a pig though.
Big
Maybe a
pig?
big pig.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Wow, that's a terrible shame. Maybe some sort of wild boar, maybe. But I'm glad you're okay.
Thanks. Me too. We're on the same page.
This happened just yesterday or today?
Last night,
Last night? Okay. We got to figure out what we're going to do about tonight.
Yeah,
First we
you-
have the scratch to take care of.
all right, so let's work through the next thing that you guys need to do. You got to settle up with all the things that you brought in. You get some scratch from Slacked, who is the boss goblin that hired you guys. Broken down by the Lost Patrol, the things that you've done: snake skin, snake rattle, a scratch each. You get one scratch for the owl bear talons, one scratch for the feathers, 4 for all of the wood that you returned with. Saving the scouts, because that was what you were sent for, was 5, and that's pretty much paid by friends and family and Slacked, the boss goblin. If you choose to sell it, the very nice carrot that Tim found will get you another scratch, and this owlbear egg, who even knows what that could get you?
Since I'm giving the offal to the Wogs, I guess that doesn't earn anything. Any scratch?
Nah, just means you don't have to worry about feeding your wargs. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Tim would
Makes
like to
sense.
keep his carrot. I mean, not keep it, but keep it and then use it to make stew. Maybe with the rattlesnake, without the skin.
Representationally, I feel like the carrot gets sold for the
Mm,
feast that we have.
That
Yes.
works.
yes.
And by
that-
sold, we mean
that
made
works.
into. And yes, I will get my snake skinned, and then the meat goes to Tim. Because
All right.
Who
'Cause
do
that's
you
for good
think?
food.
By the way, who either volunteered or was forced into being the keeper of the Wogs while I was away? I mean,
Oh.
I imagine it was just throwing food to them. What?
Yeah,
know,
that's a
putting
great
water
question.
through some barbed wire into a bucket for them to drink.
I think that the person who you're probably going to try to make into your next apprentice is Huz.
Huz. Is
Somehow-
Huz there when I arrived with the offal?
Yes. Huz is there. Huz has a metal pot over his head, and he is far away from the warg den itself, but watching it because he's sitting on a stool.
I walk past him, pick up that metal bucket, throw it to the Wogs, see what they do with the metal bucket.
If they attack it.
I mean, I guess they just crunch it.
Yeah. Yeah. They like crunch it and growl at it, and then two of them are pulling at the bucket until they realize there's nothing in it. The one that wins, which would be 1-2, like sticks his face in and tries to get whatever's in there, and there's no food in it, so he tosses it aside.
See, just limits your vision. It'll give you half a second of protection. Dumb. Better have both eyes.
That was my mom's pot for stew.
You're welcome to go back in there and get it. And I just unload all the offal into their little trough from my sack. Go clean this.
I don't think I need to be here anymore. I'm going away. And he'll
Promising punchy material.
Bit hard work, and they just and I go off to, is there a stream or something so I can just clean it out of my burlap sack?
Of course.
It's just contained offal.
Good. So the town steps gather scratch, which you have room and board. Goblins pay 2 scratch each for a place to stay and food to eat. Anyone who doesn't have somewhere to stay has to mark a condition, and every goblin has to work, so you get to make an action roll. This is fun. This is an interesting part of the game that I'm going to see if this is just a bunch of die rolling we do, or if we slip in some cool role playing. When a goblin is in town, they got to show up to work and make an action roll. But I want to check in. So you guys have a good bit of scratch. You can get paid by Slacks, who you can find at the tavern because he's a boss. So he gets to hang out at the tavern most of the time and have other goblins do stuff for him. As far as getting scratched for like the owl bear stuff, do we think that there's some kind of trader?
Somebody who goes to
the human town? Yeah.
Towns.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, if we had somebody like that, we'd have a market.
That's true. And we don't yet have a market.
Maybe it's just the boss who says, okay, I take this, and then somehow he will take care of getting it somewhere where it could do some good.
Maybe he sits on it until you guys get a trader, and he knows that he'll be able to get something out of it. Okay, cool. Just making sure this stuff makes sense within what we have for the Goblinville. All right, awesome. So Slack the second sees his son. They give each other just a quick nod, and Slack the boss says, "Yeah, good. Lots of mud, lots of wood. Ooh, too bad you lost apps. Still." And he'll hands over some. Then he'll notice the egg. Ooh, what is that, Scree?
Some owlbear egg.
Future war machine.
Owl bear? What is an owl bear?
It's like an owl and a
But
bear.
a bear. Yeah.
Big as a bear.
But it's got an
Flies like
owl
an
head.
owl.
Yeah, and it flies. And it makes cave nests.
And it has wings.
And then his son says, "No, it's real." What? Yeah. Oh. Gonna eat that? I'll give you I'll give you 6 scratch for it.
We should hatch it and train it.
Yeah.
They're big, strong.
It's big. It's big.
Big as
Like
a bear.
a bear.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Those works. But we make good at works.
We?
Orp makes good at works.
Yeah.
So now we need an owlbear keeper.
I think you have one.
Yeah, I feel like Gorp's going to feel extremely left out if we try to recruit somebody else to keep it.
Or he'll sit on the outskirts and just be like,
Be like,
ready for the show.
yep. Yeah.
Cool. So within town, we need to figure out, you guys all have enough, I think, enough scratch to be able to pay 2 scratch each for a place to stay
We
and
do.
food to eat.
Bread and water.
Oh man, all that for bread and water? That's rough. You guys get to go to work
And
though.
stew. And stew.
And stew. That's true.
So I imagine you guys turn all this stuff in, Slack the second, have their conversation, and the whole time Astra's standing near you, Skarsnik. What do people do in here? Is this a feast, like a place where everyone eats?
Well, yes, and drinks, and it is our kind of gathering spot so everyone can enjoy each other's company, or, well, sometimes get in fights with each other because they drank too much, or it is a communal space for the enjoyment of, well, libations and food.
Oh. We
But you have
could eat
to-
something.
You have to pay for it. Usually, when if you want something, you have to pay for it. But you can also have grog, which is nice. But you also have to pay for it, but it's nice.
And Tim cooks here, and Tim is an excellent cook.
I
As
point
you
to
can
my head.
tell, I enjoy his cooking quite a bit, and I'll pat my rotund belly.
And she tentatively reaches over and pats your belly. What is pay for it? What do you mean?
Well, you see, we're receiving payment for what we did. Do y'all not have scratch? Oh, well, y'all are a little backwards. We have things that we use to pay for stuff, and when you do things, you get scratch back.
But if you are hungry and haven't gotten any food from the forest or something, how would you eat then in your village?
We would ask one of our people who have some food if we could have some of the food.
And they would give it to you.
Yes, because if I had some food and they needed food, I would give them some food.
That is very strange.
Favors. It's favors. Get them do something later.
Scratch is like storing
done.
that.
Oh. Like favors. I see.
Well, don't worry. I'll make sure you have something to eat while you're here. I wouldn't want you wasting away.
If we don't have any scratch, I can go out and hunt.
That's true.
That would be helpful anyway.
And then
Yes.
you can earn
Definitely use
scratch.
your elf.
I can earn scratch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
meat pelts,
And
Okay.
meat.
bones,
Yes.
bits.
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, sinew. We would be able to use all of that. That'd get you scratch.
Oh. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. I thought I saw some bees earlier. Perhaps there is a nest nearby and some honey. I will find that.
But you get horribly stung.
Oh, well, if you do it wrong, yes.
There's a
You
right way.
can get honey without getting stung.
Yes, that is a good question. I want to know that too.
Mm-hmm.
We're not using a big enough stick.
Probably. I will do it for scratch.
Yes, you can.
She pulls out, starts stringing her bow. Says, I will go and hunt for some food. And was there more in the village that I should see before I leave?
I should show you the surgery because if you'd like a place to sleep, you can sleep in my quarters there.
Also, if you get stung horribly by the bees, Skarsnik could then help you and rub mud into you, but you probably won't want that because elves don't like mud.
I live in a burrow. I don't mind mud. It's okay.
It's medicinal mud.
They're
The elves in the city, they did not like mud.
different elves.
Yeah, yes, I'm starting to understand that. And I give Astra a tentative smile, like,
If you want to see the mines, they'll be there when you get back from hunting.
I do want to see the mines.
So maybe a bit less.
Before we get stung to death by bees,
Make some more holes.
what that baby owlbears eat.
Oh, Usambra eats whatever Usambra wants. Usually meat.
I can do meat.
Like a ward.
Flying
Something
ward.
right up your alley, Gorp. Think of the prestige, brother.
You could get a very nice hat, right? Prestige for hats.
Indeed.
Let us go see your place where you fix people.
Certainly. Yes. Well, yes. And then we can come back, have stew, and then you can go hunting.
While we're at the warg pens, I'll pass the egg over to Gorp.
Whoa.
I think I'm very reverently holding it. I'm gently stroking it and uncharacteristically whispering something soothing.
I think you have to sit on it.
I'd make a place soft for it that keeps warm. In case you gotta wander off.
We're not going to eat it.
We'd need the whole town to help us eat that. Look at that.
Yes.
Is it like this to me? Or like, is it my head size or is it?
Oh, when we asked last week, I said it was like watermelon size for a regular person.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I imagine if you're small, it's probably quite large.
Well, that's true. If you're small, it's pretty large.
Like,
So no,
I think I nestle it with a greyback, and I get down low and just whisper some this is not food.
It's a war machine.
Honestly, Tim, if it's like we did see one hatch, so it's probably, if we were trying to eat it, you know how you sometimes will get an egg that the chicken's been sitting on already for quite a while, and you have already a piece of or a starter chicken inside.
yes.
I imagine this is a starter owlbear already in there.
Well, goes well in the stew, the starter chicken. So, but okay, if you don't want to make Owlbear's omelet, then we won't. We can sit on it and try to hatch it, and then it can lay more eggs, and then we can convert some of them into omelet. That is good thinking.
Greyback moves her snout over to the egg and takes one long sniff. Second sniff. Looks at you a little warily. Then licks the egg.
Nodding. Leave the pen. I give a dirty look to One Tooth.
One Tooth has given up on that.
Broken Tooth.
Broken Tooth. Sorry, I keep calling One Tooth. I apologize. Yeah. Broken Tooth. Yeah, it's the alpha of your warg den is probably still a little upset because that pot had no food in it. But it did get some food when you poured in all the offal.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it's
I wasn't going to bring the egg in before they'd finished the offal.
yeah, they finished the offal, but he's still broken tooth, so not pleasant.
I'm sure he if anyone is dumb enough to lean up against the fences, he's gonna take a snap at them.
Yeah, I mean that's what he does. Sweet. And you have read my mind, so let's this is a good point. We will get into going to work and making action rolls after we take a break. So it's 35 after right now. We should take a 10-minute break, so we'll meet back at quarter till. We'll see you guys in a bit. Hello. So, Sabine, what are the games that you played? Sorry. What are the games you played during the the Gauntlet Open Gaming Weekend?
I played the droids thing with Greg Elder. That was a lot of fun. And I really wanted to play one of these battle droids. I've seen too much Clone Wars, obviously, but there was no battle droid outline. So I was a power droid with a battle droid head fused to its side. And so I could go, Roger, Roger, blast him all the time, and had a lot of fun with that.
That is really cool. I just watched the Star Wars Resistance episode in the second season. By the way, second season's pretty good. First season was here or there.
It's not on the European Disney Plus.
Oh, well,
no.
They had a battle like there are pirates on board this big area called the Colossus, and they made a deal with somebody and got some used battle droids, and I can't remember what they're called, like the super droid, the ones that kind of aim forward and they're big.
Commando droids,
something like that. But it was funny because this is like taking place the time of the sequels, and they're battle droids, so they're ancient, and they were all rusted up and stuff. It was cool.
Yeah, droids are a lot of fun, and the Skeletons game that hack was a lot of fun too, because our droids, we weren't very keen on killing any of the intruders. Our protocol droid mostly tried to serve them food or stuff like that. But we scared them nonetheless, because we were all very ancient, very weird, very creaky droids.
So I got to play that once. So the Droids is a Star Wars reskin of the Skeletons by Jason Morningstar. And the Skeletons, you play skeletons who've been geshed to protect a tomb, and you play only when your skeleton's awoken to defend the tomb from invaders. And Greg Gelder has reskinned it for Star Wars. You're playing droids who have a similar setup. Where's the place where you guys were? Because when I played it, it was at Jabba's palace after.
With us.
I love that.
We were there too. Yeah.
So it picks up after Jabba's been, taken out, and you're the droids that were left behind when the skiff gets taken down or in return. That's so cool. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. All right, welcome back. Let's do our work things just to kind of resolve that, and then we'll drop back into fiction. The way that going to work happens is when you're in town, you've got to show up to work, you make an action roll. The action is getting paid, with success being 1 scratch, progress being nothing. The danger is marking a condition of the goblin's choice. And if their boss is around, meaning not dead or whatever, then you can involve your boss in the twist. So let's go around and do that. We will say this. We'll do the scene with Skarsnik showing Astra his clinic, and then she'll go off and you can do your job role. But let's start off with Spiff. So Spiff, reminder, your job is a sapper.
I am.
And the sapper doesn't have a town thing. Your boss is broke. And because he's around, that means you could work him into the twist. So let's see, what would a sapper be doing in the town? Are you doing something in and around the mine, you think?
Mostly the mine or blowing up tree stumps.
Okay. Yeah, according to this quick Google search, just to make sure, a sapper is a soldier responsible for tasks like building, repairing roads and bridges, laying, cleaning mines, and dealing with stumps. So cool, you get to go around and clear out some stumps. Let's have you roll. Let's have you make a roll. Let me jump into the roll dice for friends so I can see it. And a reminder for go to work. We start off with a die for action because you're doing the thing. The danger, we know what that is. The danger is that you have to mark a condition from hard work. It's 2 dice. Cool. Are there any traits or tags that you want to, titles or traits? Oh, sorry for that. I was having a Lady Blackbird talk earlier today. Titles or traits that you want to bring in?
They're a stump shaker.
That is a perfect use of that. So now you have 3 dice against 2 things that you need to mark. And do you want to try to have a twist with your boss, or you okay rolling 3 dice and assigning it in the action and danger?
I'm fine with 3.
Okay. Let's have you roll them, and then I'll drop those in.
Did you see anything? No?
I don't see anything yet.
No. Okay, I'll roll in.
We've been having problems with roll dice, your friends, so. Roll dice with friends sometimes. Okay. So what'd you get? Are we rolling physical dice? Or are you going to roll in?
I'll
You're
do
rolling
it.
in. Awesome.
Hang on.
Perfect. I love it.
Well, D6. Oh, a 3, a 4, and a 1.
All right. Oh, man. Dang it, Google. Stop formatting everything. All right. So you can't get a success. A success is how you get 1 scratch. So you're not going to make any money. And do you want to take a condition? I'd say you drop a 4 here and a 3 here, unless there's another way you want to have it go.
No, that makes sense.
All right. So then you don't take a condition. You
Make progress.
you make progress, but that's nothing vis-a-vis getting paid. That sucks.
And then it's like,
Rough life.
I need a bigger bomb.
Need a bigger bomb. Cute. Cool. So let's jump over to Tim. I can't. Who's Tim's boss is?
Well, my boss in the city was weak, but he was thrown in jail. But I think I have a guy. There's this tavern owner guy who I work for. So I might have a boss. I think he had. Didn't he have a name before?
I think so. Hold on. Let's see. So we have Slacked, who was in the bar.
Yeah.
Do we just want to say that Slacked is the bar owner, the tavern owner?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he hangs around the bar anyway all the time. So.
Okay. So Slacked is boss. So we have Slacked. Do you, number 1 is the action getting paid.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, the dangers market condition. Do you want to spend a title or use a trait?
Well, I guess I could spend, I could be low-key lucky because, you have to be lucky to find something to make food here, right? It's a low-key kind of lucky that would be perfect for it.
You want to work a twist in with your boss involving you in other work or something other, some other kind of twist, which would get you a 4th die?
Oh, cool. I want a fourth die. I think the boss is not too worried about him cooking because he does that anyway all the time.
Exactly.
And
it's all about you. It's not a problem of him worrying if you cook. It's like, do you get paid for the work you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. And he thinks maybe that I should we drag some wood around because he wants the wood over there, and then he thinks, no, the wood would look better over there. And he's constantly interrupting me and real quick, can you put that over there? And if you've ever had a boss who got up to you and said, hey, just real quick, then you know how.
I've received the real quick treatment before myself.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it seems like roll dice for friends might be kaput for now. I actually did just roll a die, but I never saw Jan's die.
Okay, I can try it, I guess. Let's see what happens.
No, it's not working.
Nothing happens.
All right, roll dice through another method.
Okay, I think I will use my physical dice because rolling physical dice, as I've been told, is fun.
You've been told that?
Yes, I've been told that. I don't know who said that. I have 4. I will roll these.
All
And
right.
we'll see what happens. Oh, there's a 1.
Uh-huh.
There's a 4, and there's another 4, and there's a 6. So, yeah.
All right. You will reshare, and you can divvy those up how you like. So we've got 1, 4, 4, 6. You've
Uh-huh.
got action, danger, and twist. Harm is not operable right now. You don't
Oh,
have to worry about
nice.
that.
Okay. Wow, that was actually a pretty good roll, right?
Yeah.
I think I won't take harm. That's the 6.
Oh, no. Harm is not one
Oh,
you need to worry about. Yeah, you don't have to.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay, but I can use the 6 with action.
Yes, you get paid.
Whee! And then I can use the 4 with danger.
You don't get a condition.
And I can even use the 4 with the twist.
So be it. All right. That's
Mhm.
fantastic. Good sorting of rolls. You get paid 1 scratch.
Wow, I am.
I love that
Awesome.
doing a die roll gets you 1
Mhm.
scratch, but it takes 2 to get food and a place to sleep for the night.
Where would I put it in now? Nowhere. Oh, it's just.
Do what? I'm sorry, I don't understand the
Oh,
question.
Scratch goes in your pocket.
Yes.
Oh, in my pocket.
Yes.
Okay.
We stick scratch in the pocket. You can just mark it.
Okay. I hope I won't confuse it with my spell. Okay.
I hope not. With heavy eyes, the spell, and some scratch.
Yes.
Grab out a spell and put yourself to sleep. That would be a bummer.
Mhm.
Let's jump over to Scree. You got some mining, working on the coal mine, going down.
Going downtown.
Working on a coal mine. Oh, I gotta sit down.
So
Action, danger. Your boss has been kidnapped.
Yep.
So you can't involve them in a twist. Do you want to use a trait or a title?
I will use my cragginess.
That's what it's for.
So
All
I
right.
think does that get me just 2 dice?
No, you get 1 for action, 1 for danger, 1 for using your
Sweet.
trait. So you're rolling 3 dice and you're signing into 2 different categories.
All right, a 1, a 6, and a 3.
All right. A 1, a 6, and a 3. How do you want to divvy those up? You can get paid. If you put a 5 or 6 in action, you get paid. If you put a 5 or 6 in danger, you don't take a condition. Tough call. You gonna roll a die to see how to assign your roll of your dice?
I did in fact. I flipped a coin actually, but I choose to get paid.
All
I'll just be
right.
exhausted.
Well, the good news about getting paid is that exhausted, you can get rid of that, by sleeping for the night. So,
Right.
Cool. All right, go ahead and mark yourself a scratch. And now we go to talk to Gorp. We know what's happened to your boss.
Yes. So I do not get any extra for that. Do I?
Action, danger. Do you want to use a trait or a trait or a title?
Let's look.
And your job, of course, is minding the warg den and training an owl bear, except it's a egg, so really not.
I mean, dangerously stubborn.
Sure.
Yes,
I think
okay.
that's kind of the prerequisite for your job.
What's a roll? Do I want to bring up the... Well, I'm going to try the rolling thing.
Give it a shot.
Okay, so how many do I get? Do I get just...
1 for danger, 1 for action, and the 1 for your trait. You're assigning it into action and danger.
Okay.
So 3 dice.
3 die, and I'm rolling. Let's see if it likes me.
Wow, you get dice.
I did get dice.
Pretty decent dice. I think you're gonna look okay. How are you gonna assign that?
So I'm just doing action and danger.
Correct.
Okay. The action gets 6 and danger gets a 4.
Yep, that is the way to go. Which means you do not take a condition. You get paid. Nice. Get paid in some scratch. Now we bring ourselves to a quick scene with Skarsnik. So tell us a little bit, like, how does the tour of Skarsnik's clinic? What does he want to show off to Astra? She's pretty fascinated by all of this.
I think the big draw that he sees is that first off, it's kept pretty organized. He may not know how to use things as well as he should, like the herbs and such like, but he does know where they go, because that was definitely a task he was put to. So everything's up there, it's labeled, and he will show, as you see here, I have foxglove, and it has written on it, foxglove. That's a way I know, and anyone else can too. And I have a surgery table, and I'll be fairly proud of the actual surgery, but then get a little more shy as I head back to the living space. And I've taken over Burl's room since he's not going to be using it anymore. But and so I'll show you. Well, this is the doctor's room here, and
it's so clean.
Oh well, yes. It's nice to have things where they're supposed to be. But you can stay here, and I have a room that I slept in when I was an apprentice. I'll just I'm used to it, so I'll just I'll go back there.
This room is so big.
Well, yes, it's good size. Burl and I both are not small. We're not small people.
Does it get cold? Always the same temperature, but above ground, sometimes it gets cold at night.
Well, it has the potbelly stove there. You can also boil water for your tea.
She walks over to the stove. Is it like lit, or is it a thing that you lit when you came in? Or I imagine
it. I'm showing her around, and it wasn't lit while we were gone, so it's cold at the moment.
She kind of shakes it, and then looks at the soot on her fingers.
Yeah, I'll have to start a fire in it, you see, and I'll open it up and put some wood in and
she watches, fascinating. We have campfires and cooking fires.
This makes sure the fire it goes longer than a campfire and uses less fuel, and it's a bit more efficient in keeping things warm.
Goblins like efficiency.
A lot of them do. Very practical people, us goblins.
I don't think Marin would believe me if I told her that, but I believe it.
She was kind of a jerk.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like a knock on the door. Skarsnik, you're here?
Excuse me. I'll throw open the door. Yes.
And she kind of squats down and keeps looking in the pot-bellied stove and kind of peering at it as all the flames come out. And then you get to go to work. So 1 for action, 1 for danger. Do you want to use a trait or title?
I do. I think I'll use Wielder of the Surgical Club.
That's a good call. Which means someone needs the surgical club, it seems. That stinks. 3 dice. You do not have you don't have a boss. So there's not an easy twist. Although I think in future we may involve twists. We'll see. We'll talk about that after the fact. Cool. So you've got 3 dice, because you're using your title or trait. 3 dice, trying to get 2. Let's see. Are you gonna try the roll dice? See if it works.
No, I got to roll for your party up.
All right, go for it.
2 5s and a 3. That's good.
That is pretty great. So I guess 5 action, 5 danger.
Indeed.
Let's see. So give a little flavor to this. I think you had to use the surgical club. So I'm going to say that one of the goblins who stayed in hiding during the attack the night before, we're going to say that it's Gobkani. You have to clonk Gobkani for a pretty severe gore. Like it had so many horns. Horns. I thought it was a big pig, but it had more horns than a warthog.
Well, that's strange. I want you to hold still. This is going to hurt for just a moment, but not nearly as long or as bad as if I didn't do it.
And then you pull out the club, and his goblin eyes get big, but then you whack bonk him on the head, and then you get to patch him up and pull out. And sure enough, like you see little spurs of bone in that arm. It's going to need to be put into a sling, and you've got to kind of patch up the broken bone there. So he was gored in his arm, and it broke the tibia. So he was in a great deal of pain.
I'll take out the whatever little shard of, you say there was bone of what attacked him, or is it just bone of his arm?
Okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious that it's not his own bone because.
And I'm an expert, hopefully enough that looking at it, does it look bone or tooth?
It looks bone.
All right, I'll bring it out and I'll put it into one of the jars there in the surgery, thinking I can take it to Gorp later, and maybe he would have an idea of what it is. He gets out and about with animals.
And then he's out, laid out in your bit of your office there. He'll be out for a while. Anything you want to do before Astra will come in and say, I'll go hunt now so that I can be back in time for the carrot supper.
All right. Here, I'll take out a little piece of paper and write, that this is a friend, signed Skarsnik. If anybody asks why you're here around town, just show them this. Everybody knows my name.
Your name is on here?
Yes, that's it right there. Skarsnik.
Oh.
Here, and I'll write kind of to add on to my note. Her name is Astra. See, and there's your name. I don't know if I spelled it right.
I'm sure you did. You're very smart.
Oh, shucks.
She takes a strip of paper and she rolls it up into a little scroll, and then she sticks it in her little pouch there and quickly strings her bow and says, I'll be back soon.
Be careful.
Yes. Thank you. Bye. And then she ducks out. Cool. So everyone has done a job, and everybody knows if there's scratch. So we'll do the next step in the town phase, which is gear up. Goblins spin their scratch freely at the available locations. Does anybody want to gear up? Here are the things you have access to. You have the warg dens. You can get access to wargs. The tavern, you can use 1 scratch to remove panicked or exhausted. And I don't know what that was supposed to say, but it's supposed to say exhausted. It said haunted. So I'll just change that typo.
Quick question.
Yes.
How much scrap do we individually have now?
So you guys got a total of
Just me.
13 scratch for your work, and then the people who succeeded at their action roll got one more. I assume you divvied up everything equally, but then that meant of the 5 of you, there would be 3 left over.
Well, and we already spent 2 if we decided to have a place to eat or to sleep in for eating.
So that means that you guys will have 1 scratch if you succeeded at your job.
Mhm.
And then there's 3 scratch just kind of hanging over. I don't know how you guys want to divvy that up. It's really up to the group.
So almost none is the answer.
Yes,
Alex.
almost none.
I mean, the snake skin and the rattle scratch should go to Scree.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you just got 1 left over.
And I guess the carrot scratch goes
The
to Tim,
carrot
and that kind
goes
of
to Tim.
and that covers those extra
So-
3.
Okay, so
Yeah,
there
but
you
maybe
go.
maybe the carrot. Maybe we can figure that the carrot scratch was one of the scratches we used for food, because Tim wouldn't hold on to any kind of scratch for that, because he uses the carrot for food and not for trading it in. But we can figure that into the cost of living, right? So we can still leave that 1 scratch floating, because somebody might need a grog or something later on if something happens to one of us,
Did anybody not make? How many folks didn't make scratch from working?
Yeah, just Spiff.
If
Well, would we like to give that to Spiff
Yeah,
so that we all have a little
absolutely.
something to jingle in our pocket?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
it's fine.
All right, cool. So that has gone through town phase. Just keep in mind your thoughts, feelings about that when we talk about it at the end of session, because I'm really curious to hear your feedback. We got a little bit of time here, so we will pick up with you guys at Tim's supper with carrot stew and
Snake.
carrot snake stew, or is it carrot snake soup? Like, what is it, Tim? What have you made?
Oh, well, I've got a carrot and I've got rattlesnake. This is a stew for sure. This is not just soup. I mean, I actually have things to put in there besides what I usually put in there, which is kind of whatever floats around in the kitchen, and the traps in the kitchen mostly. Because there are, but this is actually very fine. Well, yeah, stuff, because this rattlesnake and the carrot especially, the carrots are very healthy. Tim will tell everybody how healthy carrots are, and how he fought a raccoon to get this carrot.
I don't care if it's healthy. It tastes good.
Yes, it tastes. Also, it's orange. Everything that's orange tastes good.
Does it though?
And a raccoon's bigger than owlbears.
No, not about the same size. No, no, it was smaller. I'm making this up. The raccoons are a bit smaller than owlbears, I think. They don't come from eggs though. But this was a grown-up raccoon. But I I didn't bring it with me because it ran off. And what really happened was that Tim used a spell to put the raccoon to sleep, and then snuck in, stole a carrot, and ran off before the raccoon could wake up again. And I think it's a fairly normal-sized raccoon, but they scratch. That's a fact.
As you guys are eating the snake carrot stew, Astra comes in to the tavern. She has a string of 2 conies, like rabbits, and she brings it in, looks around, and moves over to your table and sets it on the table. It says, I can dress this. I didn't know how you did it. And she
Dress
looks to you,
it?
Tim.
Why do you want to put it in a dress?
No, we don't dress up our food. We just put it in stew or things like that. not in a dress. Also,
I mean to skin it.
Oh, butchering.
Oh, right. Yes, that is part of the preparation of food.
That's interesting, though.
Yes, you can totally undress your conies and then keep the pelt, because that is not very edible.
This is very impressive, Astra. This is.
And then she pulls out her knife and like right in front of all you guys, just like jams it in because that's what you said. You could just dress it. So she starts cutting into it. You tell her it's impressive. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow. Astra, do you mind if Gorp takes the innards there?
Oh no! If you need the innards, take the innards.
Are we going to eat them?
No, it's for the works to eat.
Oh, for the works. Yes, of course.
I reach over, just sweep them into my hand, and then just pouch them on my belt.
I'll pull out like a rag or something. Your hands, Gorp.
Wipe my hand with the rag, throw it back at. Just a bit of awful.
And she'll quickly, like, she guts it. You pull the stuff out, throw it in. You have to wipe your hands. And she quickly field dresses this rabbit with very, like, it's very practiced. This is a thing that she has done a lot. So pretty soon she kind of pulls up the skinned rabbit, and she says, do you want this?
Yes.
Hands it to you, Tim, because you're the cook. So
yes, I will put some of that into that snake carrot stew. That would be, wow. Now it's a snake carrot coney stew. That is even better.
Tim, you think I can't remember his name that owns the pub.
Slacked.
You think old Slacked will come across with a little scratch for Astra? I mean, she did provide.
Yeah, and then she could use the scratch to pay for the stew, and a bit of beer, I guess, if she wants that.
What's a beer?
Oh, I expect that you elves only know wine. It's like that, but better.
I've had elderberry wine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, beer is better.
It made me tired and giggly.
Beer's a little like that, but sorry.
Grog will also make you giggly.
Oh. Okay. It seems like a good trade for scratch for... Why is there the middle step with the scratch if I just want the grog and the stew?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What if you don't want the grog or stew?
Oh. Okay. Yes. That makes sense. Skarsnik. She moves over, she reaches into her little pouch, and she pulls out this like very soft leather that's been wrapped over a couple of times. And she gently starts to undo it. And you see there's just like a little square of honeycomb that's just gooped with honey.
Well, that's fantastic. You could keep that, and when we make tea, you could put it in the tea, or we could put it on our bread.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You're an amazing person, Astra. I don't think I've ever seen anyone come back with actual honey and not with a whole bunch of... You didn't get stung, did you?
Maybe I got stung a little.
We'll treat that when we get back home.
Okay. And then she notices that you're all sitting in chairs, so she'll head over to the chair and just do what you're doing. So you guys get to have a snake carrot stew. Astra enjoys it. She says this is very good. She drinks some of the grog. She does not seem to like the taste of it. It's a little bitter for her. So much so that she like,
Not wrong.
yeah, she asked for a little bit of the honey. Like, maybe we put some honey in the grog. And then she starts to get pretty tipsy pretty quick. Yeah. So everything is funny. And she gets up and keeps walking around and like hugs you a few times, Skarsnik, and then moves around the table a little bit more. And you guys have a bard, Forks. He whips out his turtle shell lyre with 3 strings, and he starts singing some songs. And she will try to learn the words, but doesn't know any of the words, and so she'll just kind of sing along with it. A lot of her trepidation seems to have kind of evaporated with all of this. How are you guys? How's Gorp reacting to the tipsy ravine elf and the delicious meal?
I think he's got his like head down amongst his bowl and his grog, and I think he's grumbling as he's shoveling food in, and like about elves and just general xenophobia about elves.
Cool. What about Spiff's? How's Spiff about the meal and the scratch and the singing and the music and all that?
I think Spiff is spending time at like can I get some more grog? I don't have any scratch to pay for it, but I'm good for it. You know that, right?
Slack's like, no, pay for it. I'm not a bank. Go build a bank.
Well, you build a bank. We brought wood.
If I build a bank, I'm not giving you credit. Spiff, you're not good for it. You just...
Spiff is just going to sit in the corner then. There's an empty tankard and like, you know.
Tim will attempt to sneak him some of the grog because Spiff is nice.
All right. I think that's a thing you can slide around Slack. Yeah. What about Scree? How's Scree handling this, the shadow boss?
Scree's real tired, but honestly enjoying herself. This is a good meal. Things are entertaining. Elf singing goblin songs, that shit's fun.
What's so, the like, kind of, how do you imagine goblin songs go? Are they like rowdy things or?
Yeah, I think it's rowdy. I think there are probably some call and response type things that are
nice.
Like traditional. Yeah, I think it's fun, simple music, right?
You may be a little, I'm imagining it's a little bit like, oh shoot, shanty, like a kind of a shanty type song, maybe. Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah. Because that feels like it's meeting your.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, I'm watching, I'm chuckling, I'm clapping, playing along.
Yeah.
But boy, I'm not standing up if I can help it.
That's good. That's good. So Skarsnik, eventually Astra tries to like pull you up to dance.
I have been keeping an eye on her, making sure that there wasn't any trouble and no one tried to bother her. And so when she pulls me up to dance, I probably will manage to do a reel or two there to dance around. And I'm also trying to make sure, because I've noticed how quickly she's gotten a bit tipsy, to not have her get sick drunk and kind of moderating her drink by having some water added as we go.
Oh, good call. You notice that as more and more goblins show up at the tavern, there's like a whole, for at least until there's so many that they have to spill over, there was a whole table empty tables ring around you guys as none of the goblins want to get near this weird elf girl. And then she starts dancing around. There's a whole lot of goblins just like stopping and staring like, that's just super inappropriate. I just don't like this at all.
I'll give baleful looks towards them.
You definitely get the feeling that she doesn't notice it because she's a little tipsy, but isn't super welcome here. No one's been openly hostile, but there's a lot of looks. There's a lot of hunched shoulders, kind of similar to your brother Gorb. You know, a little bit like that on a larger scale.
We'll have to fix that. Of course, the more she brings in rabbit, I imagine the more they'll warm to her.
You're not wrong there. So Gorp, you've pretty much finished your food and your grog. Spiff got snuck some extra grog, but not you. And then Huz comes back in. That was your not apprentice. Huz comes in and he comes right up to your table and he says, Gorp, I need the pot back.
Now?
Mom needs to fix some food. Yes.
Oh, then. Right. I just leave my tankard and bowl. You know, food splattered around it.
You head out into the night, and it's quiet right as the music fades when the doors close to the tavern, and you're walking over towards the warg den. So you have that bit of quiet between tavern and the warg den. Do they go to, like, would the warg be generally asleep by nightfall?
Yeah, I think they're kind of laying around, you know, usually a warg and against another warg, warmth, you know. Just laying it against the ground. Maybe there's like, wherever there's like a little bit of a lean-to for shelter from the wind. I mean, they're covered in fur, so it's not, you know, it's not a big deal for them.
Bosses were mad at me from last night when that monster came. I didn't let out the wargs. They wanted me to let the wargs out, but then how would I get them back in?
You probably did the right thing. I mean, how many wargs do we think we have?
I don't know. 2d6, 1d10,
plus
2d6.
2d6, yeah.
Go for it.
Got 5.
You got 5 wargs, so we have 3 unnamed as yet wargs.
Yeah. Five wargs. Well, 4. Yeah, that would be a lot of chaos.
What are you doing with that egg?
Don't you touch the egg.
I won't touch the egg.
Good. I'm gonna raise it.
Raise it and then eat it?
I don't want to waste that.
It's not a warg. Wargs don't come from eggs.
It's an owlbear.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen an owlbear? Bigger than a warg. The wings as well.
Owlbear. Is that a naked owl? That doesn't make any sense.
Idiot. It's the front of an owl, back of a bear. Owlbear.
Owls and bears can't fuck, man.
Who says so?
Me, I just said it.
Well, I've seen the proof. You'll see when it hatches. And I get to the warg den. I think it's kind of like a kind of dug down kind of pit area. with like around the edges, it's got like just logs, like a log fence thing with the barbed wire type material, kind of just discouraging them from running into the town. I think it's trying to think if it's like to get in, do I just like lift up the wire and go under, or
Yeah,
we've got little gates.
I think a little pin. It's a pin. It's I think a
I
gate
could probably
makes
just like
sense.
clamber over, maybe.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
probably
like
got
kind of a
some
few,
kind of gate so they can get out.
Oh
I think
yeah,
that's a good point.
that makes sense.
Yes.
Thank you for your logical
Yeah.
thinking.
I assume there's definitely like
That's
a
why
gate
you're
out into
that's why you're
the
Sawbones.
yeah. I mean, I think there's a gate out into the city, out into the forest. I mean,
Mhm.
and then in the town side, it's just actually kind of.
Oh, maybe you got like
climb
a
up.
fence that just kind of funnels them towards the. So if you let them out, the only place they can run is out into the forest. And sure, they
Yeah.
could double back, but that's so much work that
Yeah.
logically they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So I clamber over and drop into the mud with a.
He says,
Where's the bucket now?
"Oh, yeah, you'll find that the bucket is right by Grayback."
Yeah, pick it up and just wipe a bit of mud off, and if I
Grayback.
can like
She kind of opens her eyes up and looks at you sleepily and does that, kind of dog yawn where the tongue curls back.
oh yeah, the big old.
Jen's giving us a quick demonstration. Thank you, Jen. And he waits because Huz is not dumb enough to talk around sleeping morgue, so he'll wait for you to do whatever you're going to do.
I give Grayback a little scratch behind the ear because I'm assuming the egg is still being looked after.
Yeah, it's like near her side.
Yeah, and I clamber back up the fence and drop over and sorry. Hand it back.
He takes it. It's got like some dents and stuff on it, but it'll hold. Hey, if that monster comes back, they're probably going to want you to take care of it with the wargs.
Yeah. I want to get paid. Somebody going to pay me. People just expect that we've got wargs here, so there's free wargs for everyone.
I'm sure you could talk to a boss. Maybe talk to Slacked. Ika. Mez. They'll pay you.
Where's Mez?
Oh. Mez is over by Sawmill. Mez is happy. You got all the wood for Mez.
Grumble. I think I would go to Mez. I got to make sure this. People better not be expecting free wargs.
Sweet. It is nighttime, and because goblins are civilized, the sawmill is not in operation. Like, they're not running the sawmill, but they're basically divvying up wood. And Mez, who actually has a last name, Kneeburst. Mez Kneeburst is there. She is pretty competent. She knows how to run and process wood. She knows how to make wood to where you can easily build other things. So yeah, she's there. When you come walking up, she's talking to a couple of the other little goblins who work for her.
Oi.
Gort, you're back. Good wood. You found good wood.
Yeah.
You got paid.
Yeah.
What do you want?
I want to know what I'm going to get paid, When you call on me to go and hunt, whatever.
You don't hunt. You got wargs.
Yeah, what do you think we're going to use the wargs for? You tomorrow, somebody's going to come to me and go send the wargs out, capture the monster.
Oh, that was north side. I don't care.
Where's Northside boss?
There's no boss in north side.
Who's going to pay me when I send the wargs out?
I guess you don't.
Well, I'm not sending wargs out then.
Okay,
Fine.
good.
Then like stomp off again.
So we'll cut back to Astra, who now is like, says, my belly is full. You made me drink so much water.
Well, we probably should go home. It's called sleeping it off.
Okay.
And I'll kind of make sure we've paid up our tab and begin heading back home, kind of directing her.
And it's a thing where you're like, oh yeah, we're directing, and then she just slides out from your arms and traipses her way back to the kitchen, and she just walks right into the kitchen and says, Tim.
Yes, what is it?
And she just runs in and throws her arms around you and says, I liked your stew. Did you make the grog?
Yeah, I did.
like your grog. I liked it with honey in it more, but it's still good.
I can. You wanted to tell? Well, you want to tell me how you get the honey from the bees without being stung so much? I try to get honey, but it's really hard.
It's not so much tell. I'll show you. I'm going to sleep it off. But tomorrow?
Yes. Okay. Yes, we do that. Fine. Go
Okay.
sleep it off. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Do you have a place to? Why do I like you? You're an elf. Elves ran me out of town. I don't like elves
I'm
generally, but
sorry.
you are nice.
I haven't seen any elves here. How did you get run out of town?
But Elf Town. It has a long name. I can't pronounce it.
Oh.
You probably could.
Marine told us about elves and towns, and they're different from ravine elves. That's why. We're different.
Okay. Yeah, you're nice.
Thanks. You're
Yes.
nice. And you're a good cook.
That's why I get the hat.
Everyone has such interesting hats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm going to make a hat, a rabbit hat, I have my raccoon hat, but it's mostly to look scary.
A raccoon hat. That's amazing.
I will show you after I sleep it off.
Yes, go sleep it off, and then tomorrow you can show me your raccoon hat.
Okay.
Hat is probably very scary.
So she traipses her way back to you, Skarsnik, and then she's like jelly. Like she just puts an arm around you and she walks weavingly as you guys head out. Gorp, you are done with the sawmill and that totally unfruitful conversation with Mez Nieburst. Skarsnik, you've just headed out. Spiff, you're out of grog. So as things start to wind down, that's when you hear that there is some kind of commotion up on the north side. And then you hear a couple of goblins cry out, "It's back! It's back! It's back!" So Spiff, being the sapper, what do you do?
I grab the things for the bigger bomb that I was making for the stump that I didn't manage to blow up.
Nice. So then Gorp, you also hear this. What do you do?
Muttering under my breath some obscenities about getting paid, I start running back to the pen.
Okay. And then Skarsnik, Astra, she's like, what's going on?
Sounds like the monster's back. I want you to just stay here. If anything comes to the door, then and she has a bow, right?
Yeah, she's like, I'll go get my bow and string it.
You probably shouldn't do that. I think it would be better if you just hide away from it. Unfortunately, the grog makes shooting very hard.
Yeah. I'll be stringing my bow. And then she goes inside.
All right. And I'm going to start heading towards where the problems are.
Sweet. So I think someone will come into the tavern. A goblin will come into the tavern and say, the monster is back. Everybody better hide. Don't go out. It'll probably just go away. There's a bunch of nervous like chatter and stuff, and some of the goblins will like run off like, oh, I have to go get this. Oh, I have to bring this in. Oh, I've got to close that down. I've got to turn out the light in my hut.
And I think Tim is about to hide because that sounds like a perfect plan when the boss tells Tim, hey, I left something in my hut. Go and get it. And Tim's like, oh, why me? And then of course, he goes off and tries to figure out what to do now and maybe find someone who can get the stuff from the boss's hut for him.
Oh, there's Scree.
There's Scree, right? Scree. Are you still in the tavern?
Oh yeah.
Cool. Then I go over and say, Scree, the boss needs his talking stick from his hut because then he can talk to the monster. And he's told me to go and get it, but I'm scared to go alone. Can you come with me? I mean, there's a monster outside and you fought a rattlesnake and an owlbear.
I didn't fight the owlbear. I ran from the owlbear.
Oh, okay.
But let's go.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice. So we just looking at time, it feels like maybe I'll do like end of scene stuff here, and then we'll do end of session stuff. So we have Tim and Scree. Both of you are sneaking your way through. Skarsnik, you're running, you catch up. So the three of you guys are together. Spiff, you're nearby. And all four of you goblins get to see the monster. It is currently it's kind of head-butted one of the huts, knocked it down, it's fallen in, and it's just rooting around inside, trying to find any kind of food. This is what you see. It is about 6.5 feet tall.
It is a nightmare.
It is a very scary looking thing.
Yeah, holy fuck.
And then Gorp, you, even though you're not going to get paid, you run back to the ward den. And as you start to figure out how if you're going to pull wargs out or anything, you hear a little like tick, 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 tick. And through the moonlight, you see that Greyback is standing up and sniffing at the little egg, and you see a little crack appear in the egg. And we'll stop right there. So we do have an end of session thing, which is going to be fun and interesting because, number one, you guys are fun and interesting. Number two, this is a point where we get to kind of tick over. So some neat things happen here at this point. So yeah, it's not it. So I'm trying to use search. You know what the thing I keep failing at, and I'm going to say it out loud, and then we can talk about it later. Write a goal for the session. I have screwed that up every freaking time. I never ask you guys to write a goal.
Well, this time, the previous time, it was it's still the same goal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know. We're going over to town.
But I definitely need to.
We got
do
to
that.
town. That
You
was
guys
our
got to
goal.
town. Good
Yeah,
job.
I feel like the game is written with a certain session structure in mind.
Do you get anything for achieving a goal?
You do. I'm pretty sure.
Well, my goal was cook a stew.
My goal was to get a goblin back alive. We got like 6 back alive, so.
Yeah, there's write a goal for the session. It's a thing. But I'll hold on. Let's do our end of session. Each player reviews how their goblin's outlook developed and whether they achieve their goal. That's part of it. So you use the goal to kind of help recount the experience. So it doesn't necessarily say if you failed your goal that you don't get a title or trait. It just says that. Now, here's the part that's interesting. When a goblin would gain a title, but they already have 3, all of you should have 3 titles at this point, which is why I wanted to sneak in and get Tim one. You advance. When you advance, you clear all of your titles. The other players must give that goblin another title that sums up all of their experiences so far. That reflects a new level of experience and begins the goblin's well-established reputation in Goblinville. The first time a goblin advances, they become a veteran. Veterans may recruit hirelings in town. Fun. So let's work through. End of session, each player reviews how their goblin's outlook developed and whether they achieved their goal that I didn't ask you to make. You recount the experience that most shaped you during this outing. This is a fireside tale. And yes, I know you guys are about to fight this like super nightmarish boar thing and also witness a cracking egg. But we will kind of pull it back. It's like it's like we just, it's meta. I started to make a video game analogy, but I'll just say it's meta. You may embellish, tell a different side of things that were seen. And what will happen is this will be the title for you as a veteran goblin. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. Probably had I been thinking about it, a goal would be to get Astra settled in. And
I think we kind of defined that coming in, so I'm okay if you want to say you are achieving that goal.
yeah,
to a
just to
degree.
sort of inform the as I'm sitting around the fire, it is uncharacteristically humble or less self-interested than perhaps Skarsnik usually is. As he's talking about, went out and found rabbits first. I brought them right on back, and I'm sure everybody's going to be very happy that she's here. And honey, found honey with very few bee stings, and kind of blushing, and we danced, and I was so graceful.
What?
So
So what
now
title?
we need to think of a title, but it also sort of needs to encompass everything else before, or
No, a title just reflects a new level of experience. So, it's really vague on what that means. Just give a cool title. The thing is, you're going to go to veteran, but you're going to wipe out all of your titles. So there's a little bit of a step back in a way, but you move to a new tier, as it were.
surprisingly graceful.
I was trying to think of something about romantic.
Yeah, I like the graceful thing because, I mean, it should be something we can actually use. I mean, romantic, yeah, but it might have just been that he was friendly, but surprisingly graceful. Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, especially if you look at that picture, that's a surprise that Skarsnik is graceful.
That would be a surprise to me. I love it. Good. Thank you, Tyler.
Graceful. Alrighty, thank you.
Who wants to tell their tale next?
I mean, I can tell my tale. My goal would have been actually to prepare a meal for everyone to be together and have a good time, and I guess we did that. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, veteran cook.
Yay, I'm a veteran cook
What
now.
title would we like to give our veteran cook?
Like, I don't know, gracious host or
Belly filler.
Mm. I like that one. Belly filler. I go with that one.
I like that one, yeah.
Thank you very much for Tim. So, who would like to go next to tell their tale?
I mean, I think Gorp's goal would be, that egg. That's mine. That will be mine.
and you got it.
I got it.
Yeah, why not call you Owlbear Warden? Because, I mean, or Egg Warden. Because right now it's not, this session hasn't been an owlbear, it has been an egg.
I don't know. Maybe something more general, like Beastmaster.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Gorp would appreciate that one.
All right. Wipe out those titles and take
So I
Beastmaster.
lose. Yeah, so all titles are gone. Yeah.
Well, there isn't a thing that says level, is there? Or advanced.
Nope.
We'll have to stick that in there.
Yeah, I just stuck mine in notes.
So we're now veterans.
You are now
I
veterans.
mean, we could always put veteran in front of our job.
Oh yeah. Veteran ward keeper, veteran miner. I think that makes sense. And then the next time you'll be boss. So you'd be boss, ward keeper, boss miner. Yeah, cool. Cool. So who wants to go next? Scree or Spiff?
I'll go next just to get it out the way. I feel like my goal this session would have been to get my scratch in order.
Aim low.
Yup. You'll never be disappointed.
I mean, you ended up with 3 scratch.
Yup. So I think I did okay.
Pocket full of scratch.
Yep.
Better than kryptonite.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anybody want to throw a title at Scree to replace her 3 lost titles as she now becomes the veteran miner? She may be the actual boss soon.
I mean, drowning in scratch.
No.
We're not with 3, but I mean, it's all relative.
I mean, it doesn't have to be just stuff that happened this session.
Yeah,
It can be anything from my total experience.
Mm.
Snake charmer.
No, thank you.
Business
like-
lady.
Always has a deal. Like,
The business ends.
Wow. I think business end is pretty funny. So I think. And then I'll be exhausted again. So there we go.
All right. And then Spiff, you are last.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time with this one because it's like, wait, but goal, I would not have I mean, my goal would also have been like get paid, enjoy my pay.
Congratulations.
Get drunk.
I mean, I did get more grog than I had the right to. um, working on a bigger bomb.
Okay. Any story that you want to tell us to earn yourself a title, or?
For this session, I don't feel that I didn't do much yet. So
True. Okay. You want to lie about something? I mean, you could lie about your job.
I think you also tell stuff that happened but we didn't see. It says tell a different side of the things we saw. Which is a bit different from embellishing.
I mean, I think Spiff is definitely going to tell a big story about how the stump that he was supposed to clear was actually some sort of special wood, and therefore he couldn't just blow it up. It needs to we should actually be harvesting that stuff.
Stump Bane. I mean, it's
similar to Stone Shaker, but it's
Stone Shaker,
fine.
yeah, it's a bit too similar, but
It's fine. I mean, that still works, I think. Unless someone else says anything.
I'm trying to think of something better as well.
I feel like something along the lines of
maybe the future banker.
Right, reach out to, reach beyond their grasp sort of feel, because you're trying to get things that you might not can have yet. I think it should also be
something
a title,
for nothing.
Yeah, that is kind of actionable, so it can be useful.
I think it's a really wise course is to make something that's useful for the way that Jan is playing Spiff. So I think that's the way to go.
So you're getting something for no work or not paying for it. Or I'm just trying to think of a cool way of putting it. Or think about I'm good for it. Yeah, I'll pay you back tomorrow type.
I dig that.
I don't know how to put it. That's works as a good title.
I mean, good for it could be a title, I think.
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah,
let's go for that.
Spiff, he's good for it.
Good at it. He's good for it.
Yeah.
And that also sort of
now, but
that sort of can also play into the future banker.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I could. That's a really good setup. All right, fantastic. We've gone through our end of session. So that brings the full experience of Goblinville mechanics. We'll just jump straight into stars and wishes. Wishes, I'll just come out and say, I wish that I remembered to ask you guys to set a goal. It sure would make me laying out scenes or situations easier if I knew what your goal was. I also feel like a wish for me felt like maybe a little bit of an unbalanced session for Spotlight. I feel like I kind of missed there. I focused a little too hard on a couple of different goblins, but didn't mix things around to give everybody cool stuff to do. That said, and I'll shut up after this, the job sequence made it hard to do Spotlight sharing, right? Like it was just kind of a mechanical thing. And I tried to throw in a little bit of story or color, but it was very do your job stuff, which is interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's go around we'll start with wishes. and then we'll do stars. So at least one wish. Feedback about I wish Goblinville was so and so. It can be critical, or it can be like I definitely want to get to X or Y thing. So kind of set a mile marker out there for me and all of us to reach towards. Who'd like to go first on wishes?
I got one. I wish we would have gotten a bit more scratch.
Yeah, me too.
It's like when like you go like, okay, well, and then it's like, okay, you need to pay 2 to sleep somewhere, and so then you're
Yep.
yeah, we're already out of scratch. Okay, good.
I mean, on one hand, like, great, we have an economy that kind of encourages you to go out into the world to do this stuff.
Yeah, but it took us 2 sessions to get this scratch, and it's like, ooh,
Right. So I think I
Ouch.
just need to make some adjustment into the economy and reward a little bit more next time around. And I definitely will do that. But I think that's a very good wish. It's a very astute observation. Any other wishes, Jan?
No, that's the biggest one.
Okay. Thank you, Jan. Who's next? I stole all the wishes.
I mean, you're invoking the curse of just throwing it out there and not naming people.
I know. That's it. Jen, you get to go next. What wishes
Yep.
did you have?
I understood the danger when I went in. Yeah, I for next session, I wish we adapt this game a little bit more, whether it's a cultural adaptation or mechanical / text adaptation to the kind of play we're engaging in. Because although I'm not seeing anything explicit in the rules, like it feels very strongly to me that this game was designed for, okay, one session is going to include
All of these things.
one piece of adventuring and then one town segment, and like then you call it a day, and next time you do the same thing all over again, right? Town segment, and then the end of the town segment gets you set up for the next adventure even.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not a whole lot of framework beyond this part's here and this part's here to help you contain that in one session.
Yeah. I wonder if there's an assumption for a longer session kind of built into this. Maybe. Or a quicker process through events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there is the town procedure of looking for leads, which also costs scratch again. So,
well, I feel like we're not going to need to pay for leads because
at the moment, no.
Since there's a monster in town and we have stuff to do.
True, but I think if I hadn't thrown that out there, that is definitely a risk.
Yeah. So yeah, I suppose I wish for a deeper understanding of the economy of the game as constructed. Because as it is, I'm like, this is tough. And like, believe me, I get it. Like, that's thematic, but most of our goblins are treading water right now, and
this is what's weird. A crossbow, like I was reading in Lost Patrol, which is official Goblinville adventure, a crossbow is 2 scratch. So you would trade a crossbow for 1 day's lodging and a place to sleep.
Do we think that it's 1 day's lodging,
because the market in the equipment table has a bow for 4 scratch. And a jug is 4 scratch. And a pack is 4 scratch.
And I sort of question, is this room and board for a day, or is it the assumption you're paying room and board for however long you're in town?
That is a really good question, and I think that's probably how we should do it. And it probably is that's probably like you come back to town until you go on your next adventure. 2 scratch pays for it.
Right.
Although, like, part of the town section is going to work, so it's that 1 scratch for, I don't know. I get you. I think that's the way to abstract it.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of stuff that's implicit going on here that really should have been made explicit.
And just so we're clear, I have yet to read. There are supplements, like there's a second zine, a third zine, and a fourth zine. I barely scratched those.
Yeah.
Because I keep playing other games.
Scratch.
I'm a dork. I use the same word.
Well, but we're supposed to, now that we're veterans, we're able to hire hirelings, right? And
but we don't
recruiting
have
a hireling costs 8 scratch, right?
Yeah, that's
or
the
if
thing.
you want to upgrade the town, that's a lot of scratch. So it's like, woo, man, I gotta get much stickier fingers.
We have a sawmill now, and it's like, oh yeah, you can build one of those structures for 10 scratch, and that means that this time everyone needed to sleep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I feel like if the rewards for an adventure are a higher level of scratch, that things will probably become a little bit easier to manage, and we get to me, upgrading Goblinville is part of the heart of this game to me, right? And
I'm focused on we got to get a forge up in, because then exciting shit happens.
Right. So I think what I'd like to do is to start a next session. I'm going to think about it over the next week about what number, but I'm just going to say, along with the scratch you got, here is X more scratch, and then just try to take up the level of how scratch works out for adventures and big stuff versus you don't want to be trying to eke out an existence working in Goblinville at your job. You really want to adventure, right?
Well, that's the thing as well. Like I said, it probably shouldn't have taken us 2 sessions, but it took us 2 sessions to do that one. Adventure.
The rule of actually playing role-playing games. I think this is going to take 2 hours, 6 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But if it takes you 2 sessions, and then your third session, you're coming back, and it's like, well, we can buy breakfast. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been out adventuring. I got this, and this. Did my work. I've had -1.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that it's actually meant to be you play a quick adventure, 1 or 2 hours. Goblins go out, goblins do mischief, goblins go back, and then you go through the whole town stuff, and then you go out for your next shenanigans, and then they wouldn't be overly complicated or anything. It just simply go find goblins who are lost. They're probably just were picking strawberries or something. But I don't know if that's what we want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what we want to play. And sorry, everything's broken down here, and I feel terrible. But I just want to show this is an entire page of the Lost Patrol that I did not I just stripped out. There's a whole running and finding a hunter shack with a bunch of human hunters who are nearby. I
saw that on the map.
That in one adventure. How the hell do you do that in one game? I don't know.
Right. Maybe
if we went there, we would have gotten more scratch.
Not so much. You would have probably gotten your ass kicked.
Tyler, I didn't get what you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a scenario, and I've, just at a glance at that one and seeing, that there is another one that's got multiple spots in it and the thing, their adventures don't seem like they're go out, spend an hour, adventuring and then
Yeah.
come home. These are
No.
fairly meeting NPCs and figuring out stuff. There's a bit of something in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean,
Yeah.
you get 2 rations, so it's kind of expected that you're making camp probably twice
Right.
to
Mhm.
finish your adventure.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I think there's
That's
a play
weird.
culture embedded in this game that I don't quite grasp.
maybe.
But I'm not
Yeah.
saying it's not illegitimate. I'm just saying
No.
it's like different. Oh, by the way, I was way wrong. I just now re-looked at it. It's 6 scratch for a huge crossbow, 2 scratch for the hunting knife. So sorry.
Okay.
That lines
Um,
up a little bit more with buying stuff thing.
I mean, I've played with people who were just like, okay, where's the conflict in the scene? What do we do? Everybody says what they do, then they resolve the conflict one way or another. Next scene, go. And I don't enjoy that particularly much because I love the way characters
play.
interact and decide
Yeah.
stuff and things like that. And but maybe that's the kind of thing that is geared, that the game is geared. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I can imagine the
Yeah.
town procedure being basically
Mhm.
some people doing just
Yeah.
going, yeah. Okay,
Or
what's the
everybody
events?
like privately makes their
It's a
role, makes their
scratch,
assignments,
room.
and then
Mhm.
go.
Da, da,
Yeah, it
da,
just
da.
cycles through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and tells everybody else what the role meant and says, hey, I got
Yeah.
1 scratch and now I'm in trouble with my boss or something like that.
This is good. I mean, I feel like we're uncovering aspects of what Goblinville is about, and like Jen said, in the wishes, because I'm going to circle us back to wishes. We're talking through ways that we can adapt it to our style of play, and I think upping the level of scratch you get for adventuring is going to help that a bit. Like you guys roll in with enough scratch after a big adventure to do one of the upgrades and maybe have a little bit to where you're not sleeping on the street for a little bit, but eventually it's going to winnow down to where you're going to need to go back out. And all that is just Rich making sure that when I tabulate up the scratch that it's a little bit more like, hey, it's worth going on an adventure. It's still better than just working your job, because that's a 1 for 2 and that's terrible. but it's not good enough. And I hear that, and I think that's an easy tweak.
Yeah, like if the scope of your goblin working their job is
Exhausted every day and have no money.
right, that's like, I am not sure what role in the simulation that's supposed to take. It's interesting as pressure for you to get out there and do stuff, but otherwise it's just rough. And the likelihood exists, in fact, strong likelihood exists, that you won't get paid for working.
Yes, I know.
So yeah, IDK.
This is really
Feels
helpful.
like there's something I'm missing.
There's always something I'm missing, so I'll just shoulder that and try to get better. So we have had Jan and Jen go. So Tyler, what wishes do you have?
I'm going to kind of echo the I wish that I understood these rules and what they're trying to do better, but that's just an echo. As for like a really more actionable wish, I would really, I enjoy what we're doing in town and talking and not just having it be a role. So I wish we'd get a chance to see people and places and things. I like meeting the townsfolk. So I wish for a bit of real town interaction so we care about the place and don't mind if we have town adventure and then we have adventuring outside where we're going and earning a windfall. But I like and wish for more of knowing our town.
Good. Alex.
I mean, I would second that. I really like the building of stakes of like, this is who we live with and want to make the town better for. I think I wish that we, like the first session, I think for the fireside tale thing, I think we did like actually a little bit of the story in character, like last session. I think Tyler, was the only one who really did that. I didn't do it this session in character. I just kind of came up with a goal and like, yeah. But but I think it was much more enjoyable with the actual in-character fireside tale. I hope we
Yes,
do that again next
kudos
session.
to Tyler, and that's
But, I
a
mean, I
good
think
wish.
that was a lot down to being like, okay, in what context are we doing it now? Since we're all rushing off to do things, is this like what kind of froze my brain was like, would I say this in the past tense, present tense? Is this while we're at the tavern before other things? I kind of. Oh, and the star for Tyler's. I enjoyed his little tale. Dancing and.
All right, and then Sabine.
Yeah, well, all the good wishes are already taken. No, I also would like and enjoy to see more of a community stuff there. I also would, I mean, there was a move called Gear Up. I haven't found, obviously, I haven't found the rulebook where the gear is in, and we couldn't have afforded it anyway. But I would like, maybe if gear is a thing, I don't know how that would work. What does gear do anyway? But yeah, I still like the way that are goblins and that we are trying to maybe, I don't know, improve the town. That seems to be a goal of the game. So yeah. I also wish I knew what being a veteran meant. Now, do I get more respect? Do I get better pay? Or is that just something that, yeah, now you don't have titles anymore? It was some mechanical thing. And that's more a question than
The
a wish.
mechanical benefit to being a veteran is that you can hire hirelings. However, hiring hirelings costs 8 scratch.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan anyway of hiring hirelings, because then you have lots of NPCs to shove around, and then I don't know, it either gets bogged down because everybody wants to talk to these NPCs and feels protective then of their hirelings, or it doesn't, and then they're just kind of playing pieces, and that's not actually what we're doing. So yeah, that what I also would wish for is, I don't know. I don't think I would wish for more action precisely, but for more of we have a crisis or we have a problem, we need to confront it. But I see that we're going there, because this time we were all just in the town, and that was neat, but more stuff to do, or to sink our teeth in narrative-wise. Friction, yeah, something that brings the characters together and has them puzzling out a problem or something like that.
Okay, I think that's good. I think that's a really good piece of feedback, Sabine. Thank you. And I do this in snake order. So now, Sabine, you get to hand out some roses. None of them have been taken. Sorry, stars. I gotta stay consistent with my terminology. Oh, you're muted, Sabine.
I will give out star roses things. So there are little roses with stars in it. Anyways, I will give out roses and stars to everybody, every goblin who was in there. I love that Gorp was like, those rorks don't go out for no money. And I also like the way that Skarsnik tried to romance Astra. That was really lovely to see. And Scree, as our usual no nonsense. Yes, I do my job, and then I go to the tavern and have a good time. I really like that character, and I'm really curious to see where it goes when we do. That must go off now. And I also like Spiff with his, yeah, I'm good for it. I want to have some more grog. Can't I? Damn. So I like them. I liked all of the characters. I also like the portrayal of the NPCs, Rich. They were that Tavern, I forget his name. Scratch is not his name, but something similar.
Slacked.
Yeah, he's horrible. I want to overthrow him.
Good.
And I want to stop capitalism. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
Cool.
I was very amused by the "why do we have money?" questions.
Yeah, Tim got wondering. Yeah. Do we have money? Why do I do what my boss tells me?
Why don't I have money?
I'm glad that landed because it felt like that's one of the things I want to introduce with Astra is her learning about your society and being fascinated by it, but also like working it around in her mind that like, why do these things go this way? Alex, you're up next for stars.
I kind of mentioned one, so I'll just say that again of Skarsnik's fireside tale of his day in Goblinville. I just thought it's every time he's talking about Astra, it's just so sweet and I mean all the goblins, of course, because that one's taken. Yeah, I mean, I just like the little view of the little bits of life of Goblinville. Just a little flavor here and there. Is it Huz?
Yeah, Huz.
And also the I like that there's this factionalism, I think, between the bosses. It seems like oh, that's that side of town, that's not my problem. Like, oh, I like that kind of red tape not maybe not red tape, but bureaucracy that's kind of starting to develop in the town.
I'm really like, once we started talking like South Side, North Side, and developing that out, I now am like low key obsessed with the idea of mapping this town out, just to like draw the big parts so we know the
which side of the Mez Nebus. By the way, that made me cringe. I mean, that's not a wanting you to change it. That just stuff like, ooh, that sounds nasty.
Yeah, Mez Nebus is a messed up name.
Yeah. Which side is she the boss of then?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Be in the actual notes for her name.
Yeah.
And slacked. Which side is he the boss of and such?
I mean, I think she was South Side, wasn't she?
Yeah, well, she is now. I'll go with South Side because I jokingly put West Side, but I will go South Side.
And I maybe slacked the center.
Yeah, Central, because it's the tavern. Totally. So let's keep moving because we've gone long, and I know some people it's getting late for you. So Tyler, did you have any stars to hand out?
I do. I'll say again, I think everybody did a really good job, but I want to kind of highlight that, Alex, I thought seeing you with the wargs and with the egg, there was a melting of kind of the hard ass grumpiness that was really sweet. I think seeing that develop is kind of nice. It's good to see some layers to the character, and I think you did it in a nice, subtle, interesting way.
Yeah, I didn't want him to be developed, just stick to one note.
Yeah, I thought that. I think
bastard.
That development was nice. I thought Sabine, I thought Tim, there was some run through tonight that was really cool. I liked seeing the going from scared to hesitant acceptance to, oh, you're not like all the rest of them, I think I like you, sort of thing. That was cool to see move through. And Rich, good NPC work. I really like Astra.
Yay!
I think she really is very sweet, and she is a catalyst for us to think, and that's something that's nice out of an NPC. It takes good work to do that, and so amongst all the other NPCs, I thought she had a real light that was coming off. That was nice.
Thank you. And then Jen, stars from you, if you have any.
No stars for you. No, I enjoyed seeing the town. I definitely enjoyed the thaw of Gorp a little bit. And also to see his dedication to raising the egg. That was cool. liked seeing a bit more of the town. I liked that we're kind of starting to establish like where the bosses are looped in and what the web of social interaction is in Goblinville. Just the very first little threads in the tapestry are getting laid out. And yeah, got to see some fun performances from all of these characters. I am having a good time.
Good. Jan, bring us the last stars and we'll let everybody go.
A star for for Tyler and the interaction between Skarsnik and Ezra. That was lovely. For Jen as well, for just like Scree is really coming out as like definitely the boss of bosses. Taking charge. And I do enjoy that we're getting to see a bit of the town now.
Nice. Stars to all you guys for continuing to be nice when I stumble through this a little bit. Thank you, everybody, for keeping a good attitude about the Roll Dice with Friends website being a little futzy and not getting upset about tech difficulties. That was nice. I have been in games where folks were more irascible about tech issues that are out of our control, and you know, we kept going. I can look forward to next session and seeing what you guys do with the Nightmare Boar. That is going to be fun. So quite excited about that one. We will bring the stream to a close, and thanks everybody for watching.